Hello everyone, this is the Volvo EX90, and before this car I had the Polestar 3, so both cars together I had for 3 weeks, and they're the same platform, they're the same battery, the same software. Under the hood the surface is a bit different, the skin, and I thought I'm gonna do a little video what is different with those two cars.
Mowing your lawn is exhausting, dirty and loud. Perimeter wire lawnmower robots take a long time to set up. But here we have the solution: Mammotion GPS and 3D vision guided lawnmower robots. The e-corsa, you can have a sweeper and collect grass or leaves. The Luba 2 has all-wheel drive for 80% slopes. If you want it lighter, there's the e-corsa Mini and the Luba Mini all-wheel drive. Use the link in the description to tell Mammotion I sent you.
The main difference, of course, is that the Volvo EX90 is bigger, is gigantic and has 3 rows. So, not just 2 people sitting here in the rear, there's another spot in the back that's now folded where you can have another 2. And I think you can have here a whole seat row where 3 people could sit. I'm not sure. But of course there's way more space. The trunk also is more space, and when you look at the car, it's not sporty. This looks like a gigantic SUV, and it is. They both have the same battery, 111 kilowatt hour gross capacity, 107 kilowatt hours net capacity. And they both charge at a hypercharger with a peak of 195 kilowatt, at a Tesla supercharger 258 kilowatt, but only on the bottom. The difference that we have are in the motors. They both have, when you have all-wheel drive, you both have the technology that you can detach the rear motor when you are in range mode, and only the front motor is doing something, therefore less consumption, and then only if you push it, or when you put in constant all-wheel drive or performance mode in the Polestar 3, then the motor is always attached and you always have full power. When you have range mode on and you step on it, it takes a second till you get full power. Big difference though are the motors. You can get the Volvo EX90 with a 208 kilowatt motor, rear wheel drive, the Polestar 3 220 kilowatt. When you get the all-wheel drive version like this Volvo EX90 here, twin motor, you get here 300 kilowatt, in the Polestar 3 360 kilowatt. The performance version of both cars is then the same with 380 kilowatt power. When it comes to the keys, how you use the car, you have in both cars the same options and the same problems, because the software is a bit problematic when it comes to this. So you get a normal key. In the Volvo, it's this tiny little thing here. In my car that has 6,000 kilometers on the odometer, the battery is already out and I have to use the card, which you get in the Polestar 2. Is a tiny little card that you have to put on the door handle to unlock, and also in the middle under the wireless charging for your phone, where in the Polestar 3 I destroyed the key, that you have put at this position so you can drive. Otherwise you cannot put the car into drive. You can connect to the app, and in the app you can then unlock and lock, but it's not for driving. But you can install a digital key on your phone where via Bluetooth the car will recognize the key as so your phone as the key, and then you can just drive. You don't need this. The same as with the normal key, when you get close to the car will unlock. When you go away, it will lock as well. And the same for the trunk. When you press the button, then it should lock while it's closing the trunk as well. So this is where the key card has to be. When you have a key or the phone key, you can put it anywhere, it's fine. But both cars had a problem with the key, digital key. The Polestar 3 connected to the app pretty fast, worked right away. I could see everything and lock and unlock the car. In this car here, I can't do it. So I go to get the key, and then it says it read it, and then here should be a QR code that I scan with the app, and then I can connect. But the QR code never appears, never. And when I want to do log in here, if I try that, then I can't even type, so it doesn't work. And the other thing is the digital key. In the Polestar 3, I tried to use the digital key. It didn't work in the beginning, then it connected, but the digital key didn't work. I had to remove it. It took a few days till it really was removed. And then I tried it again, and then it worked. And in here, in this Volvo, when I do the digital key, it says here, digital key, I say configure, it says continue, and I go back. it doesn't even go in there to do it. So it just doesn't work. The cars are of course very similar, especially this here, the screen, the software is almost exactly the same how you interact with the car. What is different for whatever reason are the buttons on the steering wheel. In the Polestar 3, when I'm standing, I can use 4 buttons here to adjust the steering wheel and the side mirrors. And when I'm driving, I can use 2 buttons here for the view of the screen and my voice commands, and on the left side only the speed, more or less, and that's it. Here in the Volvo I have next song, previous song, volume, I have voice command, I can change my view here, I can turn on steering assist, and this button, it looks like it's not just speed for the cruise control, also resume, but I tried it many times in every configuration. I couldn't work out how to resume my cruise control if I had to brake, for example. I've been told by a Polestar 3 user, so turning on cruise control is with the gear selector, you press it down, and I've been told if you do it just lightly, not strong, it's resume, but it didn't work on the Polestar and it didn't work in this car with this software. Again, with the software, we have slight difference in the charging screen here on the cockpit that looks just different in the Volvo. And then what we also have a difference is in the driving data when you have your driving data here. Here I can reset. In here, in the Polestar 3, you can't. You have to go into your driving data and there you can reset. The info that you get is the same and they also work the same. So the since start always resets every time you put the gear in, since charge after every charging, and since last reset is of course self-explanatory. And what we also have in the Polestar 3, oh no, it's here too, the instant consumption. I was wrong. Another big difference is the view for the settings, especially when it comes to driving and the assistant, because it's an extra point here, doesn't exist here. Here in the Volvo it's under driving, and then you have a lot of options to turn on off. In the Polestar this looks way better and it's gigantic things that where you can go in. Both have the thing, if you are out here, there's not a lot you can do. Those down here you cannot change, which would be amazing, and they're different when you're driving or when you're parking. And here is a lot of stuff that's important. Performance mode, constant all-wheel drive, there's overspeed warning from the EU and lane assist from the EU, your glove box, settings for your side mirrors and steering, light settings, and the trunk opening. And one pedal drive is down here as well. And then you have here your settings, and the rain sensitivity also can be set here. In the Polestar 3 it looks a tiny bit different, but it's the same functions. And by the way, if you want to know what's happening behind the scenes, I started a vlog on my 3rd YouTube channel, Behind the Battery. Link is in the description below. So every few days I present what's happening with the cars, if there's a problem or if something funny happened, and also what's in my personal life and stuff like this. When I had the Polestar 3, I had the all-wheel drive performance version, and this here is the all-wheel drive version, not performance. And interesting is, in the single motor version, both cars are limited to a top speed of 180, but then all-wheel drive and then all-wheel drive performance of the Polestar 3 are limited to 210. The Volvo EX90 always to 180. Maybe because it's just a gigantic car, they had to limit it a bit. Driving wise, I find the Volvo a bit more sophisticated when it comes to the suspension. The Polestar 3 suspension is really great. In the corner it's okay, and I mean a fast corner, not going around a racetrack. I mean you go 110 into a corner on a highway on something. It feels okay, not amazing, but it's not a sports car, it's still an SUV. This is a bit more sophisticated in the way that it's more comfy and a bit quieter in there as well. So you feel the difference, I think. And this is also not an amazing sporty car, but hello, it's gigantic SUV, totally understandable. And another big difference is the steering assist. In both cars, when you use cruise control, you cannot adjust the distance, not in the infotainment system and not on the steering wheel. It does it automatically. Here I can at least turn the steering assist on the steering wheel, don't have to go into infotainment system. Both are not amazing on a country road. It's a bit searching around, and both are really bad when it comes to lane change. This car does it a bit, auto lane change a bit softer, which is nice. But if you do it yourself, when you change lanes on the highway and you are on that lane, it turns the steering assist on, and then it does a bit of searching. Where am I? Once to the right, once to the left, once to the right. This does it a bit more soft, where the Polestar 3, it's a bit more sporty and a bit uncomfortable. So even though those two cars have the same platform, they can have the same motors and everything, they're completely different cars, since the Volvo is so much bigger, has 3 rows to sit in, where in the Polestar 3 it's just a bit smaller. But the Polestar looks more sporty, looks more futuristic, where this just looks like a giant SUV and that's it. So this might seem a bit boring, but it's also a bit more comfortable. So for me personally, I prefer the Volvo, even though I would never need the space. This is way too much space. Nobody needs this. But everyone is different. If you want to follow me on Instagram, BatteryLife1, and if you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below, and here on YouTube there's also channel membership. But that's it for me. Thank you much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.